हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द लाइव सेशन। तो आज हम देखेंगे अभी एनसीईआरटी का टेस्ट सीरीज, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे पॉलिटी का टेस्ट का सेट 2। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज। और आप भी देखिए, और अगर आपको आंसर आता है तो मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में चैट में बताइए। शुरू करते हैं। First question है, what is a writ of quo warranto? It is a writ from a superior court commanding some officers or particular authority to do a specific act. It is an order from a higher court to stop proceedings in a certain case. It is an order from the superior court to any official to show his right to the office to produce the body of a person. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, जो कि है इट इज़ एन ऑर्डर फ्रॉम द सुपीरियर कोर्ट टू एन ऑफिसर टू शो हिज राइट टू द ऑफिस। Which writ is issued to a detaining authority? Prohibition, certiorari, habeas corpus, mandamus। तो इसका आंसर है habeas corpus। The original constitution classified fundamental rights into 7 categories, but now there are 6, there are 5, there are 8. They have been regrouped in 3 categories: social, economic and political। तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, there are 6। Freedom of speech under the Indian Constitution is subject to reasonable restriction on the grounds of the protection of sovereignty and integrity of the country, the dignity of the office of the Prime Minister, both A and B, none of the above। इसका आंसर है A, sovereignty and integrity of the country। Some of the fundamental rights are not available to the members of the armed forces, who reserve the right to decide the same: the President, the Defense Minister, the Parliament, the President in consultation with the Chief Justice of India। तो इसका आंसर है सी, द पार्लियामेंट। The Sikhs in India are permitted to carry kirpan. Under which one of the following fundamental rights are they permitted to do so? Right to freedom of religion, right to life and liberty, none of the above। तो इसका आंसर है right to freedom of religion। Which of the following statements are incorrect? The right to private property was removed from the Constitution by the 42nd Amendment. The right to private property, which was granted by the original Constitution, has been made more sacrosanct by the 44th Amendment. The right to property was never a fundamental right under the Indian Constitution. The right to private property was granted by the original Constitution, but it has later been removed from the list of fundamental rights। तो इसमें इनकरेक्ट पूछा है, तो इसका आंसर है ए, 1, 2 और 3। The aims and objectives of the Constitution have been enshrined in the preamble, the chapter on fundamental rights, the chapter on directive principles of state policy, all of this। तो इसका आंसर होगा ए, द preamble। Which of the following articles confer citizenship rights to the category of persons who domiciled in the territory of India, either of whose parents was born in the territory of India, irrespective of the nationality of his parents or place of birth of such person? Article 5A, Article 5B, Article 5C, none of the above। तो इसका आंसर है बी, आर्टिकल 5B। Which of the following match are not correct? Government of India Act 1919, Directly, Government of India Act 1935, Provincial Autonomy, Minto Morley Reforms, Separate Electorate, Mountbatten Plan Constituent Assembly, कैबिनेट मिशन प्लान 1946 पार्टीशन ऑफ इंडिया। तो इसका आंसर है ए 4 एंड 5 माउंटबेटन प्लान कॉन्स्टिट्यूंट असेंबली और कैबिनेट मिशन प्लान 1946 पार्टीशन ऑफ इंडिया। तो इसमें नॉट करेक्ट पूछा है। Who represented Parsis community in Constituent Assembly? H.P. Modi, Frank Anthony, हरेंद्र कुमार मुखर्जी, बेनेगल नरसिंह राव। तो इसका आंसर है सी हरेंद्र कुमार मुखर्जी। What indicates the unitary aspect of the Indian Constitution? Single citizenship, a strong center, single constitution for union and states, center can change name and boundaries of state, single unified judiciary। तो इसका आंसर है डी 1 2 3 4 and 5, मतलब ऑल ऑफ द अबव। A socialistic ideology is reflected in the directive principle, which calls for securing equitable distribution of material resources of the country to prevent concentration of wealth, promotion of cottage industries, free and compulsory education for children up to 14 years of age, all the above। तो इसका आंसर है ए securing equitable distribution of material resources of the country to prevent concentration of wealth। तो ये क्वेश्चन फिर से रिपीट हुआ है, तो इसका आंसर भी ऑप्शन ए होगा। In the event of non-enforcement of the directive principle of state policy by the government, the citizen can approach the High Court, the Supreme Court, any court of his choice, none of this। तो इसका आंसर है डी none of this। Consider the following statements regarding the directive principles. The framers of the Constitution borrowed the directive principles from the Government of India Act 1935. The directive principles aim at realizing high ideals of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity enshrined in the Constitution. The directive principles have to be kept in mind by the government while formulating policies and framing laws. The directive principles are justiciable. Of the statements, इसका आंसर है सी 2 and 3 are correct. The directive principle aim at realizing high ideals of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity enshrined in the Constitution. The directive principle have to be kept in mind by the government while formulating policies and framing laws. Which of the following is not included in the list of fundamental duties, Article 51A in the Constitution? To safeguard public property and to observe violence, secularism, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideal। तो इसका आंसर है बी सेकुलरिज्म। Fundamental duties were introduced in the Constitution by the 40th Amendment, 42nd Amendment, 43rd Amendment, 44th Amendment। इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी 42nd Amendment। The idea of fundamental duties is derived from American Constitution, British Constitution, Russian Constitution, none of these। इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी Russian Constitution। The Prime Minister may choose his ministers from Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha outside the legislature। तो इसका आंसर है डी 1 2 and 3, मतलब लोकसभा, राज्यसभा, outside the legislature, तीनों होगा। The legislative powers of the President include all the following, but the power to summon or prorogue the houses of the Parliament, The power to summon a joint sitting of the houses to resolve a deadlock, the power of nominating 12 members to the Lok Sabha, the right to address either house at any time and to require the attendance of members for this purpose. इसका आंसर है C. The power of nominating 12 members to the Lok Sabha. Regarding the powers and functions of the President, which of the following statements are correct? All legislative proposals involving expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India have to be recommended by the President to the Parliament for consideration. He may direct the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to take over a particular case for disposal. He calls upon the party enjoying majority in the Lok Sabha to choose its leader, who is then appointed as the Prime Minister. No bill or demand for grant can be introduced or moved in the Parliament unless it has been recommended by the President. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1. All legislative proposals involving expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India have to be recommended by the President to the Parliament for consideration. 3. He calls upon the party enjoying majority in the Lok Sabha to choose his leader, who is then appointed as the Prime Minister. 4th, no bill or demand for grant can be introduced or moved in the Parliament unless it has been recommended by the President. Which of the following president or presidents died during his or their term of office? Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Zakir Hussain, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, फकरुद्दीन अली अहमद. तो इसका आंसर है B. 2 and 4, Dr. Zakir Hussain and Fakaruddin Ali Ahmad. Which of the following powers of the Prime Minister with regard to the Parliament are correct? He has to justify the policy and programs of his government on the floor of the Parliament. He makes all important policy announcement on the floor of the Parliament. He summons and prorogues the sessions of the Parliament. He can recommend the dissolution of the Lok Sabha to the President. तो इसका आंसर है D. 1, 2 and 4. Which of the following is part of the Electoral College for the election of the President of India but does not form part of the forum for his impeachment? Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, State Legislative Council, State Legislative Assemblies. इसका आंसर है D. State Legislative Assemblies. The President of the Union of India has the same constitutional authority as the British monarch, President of USA, President of France, President of USSR. तो इसका आंसर है British monarch. Consider the following. The President of India cannot be a dictator because he can be impeached for violation of Constitution. The ordinances issued by him require the approval of the Parliament. The proclamation of an emergency requires Parliament's approval. He has to act on the advice of Council of Ministers. Which of these are correct? इसका आंसर है D. 1 and 4. He can be impeached for violation of Constitution. He has to act on the advice of Council of Ministers. Which of the following statements are correct? In India, all important laws are introduced in the Parliament by the members of the Council of Ministers. The bills introduced by the Council of Ministers are easily passed by the Lok Sabha because of the majority support at its disposal. The bill introduced by a private member can become an act even if the Council of Ministers does not support it. The bill introduced by a private member can become an act only if the Council of Ministers supports it. इसका आंसर है A. 1, 2 और 4. In India, the all important laws are introduced in the Parliament by the members of the Council of Ministers. The bill introduced by the Council of Ministers are easily passed by the Lok Sabha because of the majority support at its disposal. The bill introduced by a private member can become an act only if the Council of Ministers supports it. The nomination form of a candidate contesting the election of president should be proposed and seconded by how many members of the parliament? Proposed by 10 and seconded by 10, proposed by 10 and seconded by 50, proposed by 50 and seconded by 10, proposed by 50 and seconded by 50. इसका आंसर है डी, proposed by 50 and seconded by 50. Each member of parliament who participates in the presidential election is entitled to cast as many votes as are obtained by dividing the total number of votes of the legislative assembly of all the states by total number of elected members of the two houses of parliament. This ensures parity between the voting strength of the states and the parliament, parity among the states, uniformity of representation of the different states, all of the above. इसका आंसर है parity between the voting strength of the states and the parliament. Consider the following statement about Vice President and state which are incorrect. He must not be less than 30 years of age. Vice President is ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. When acting as president, he continues to function as chairman of Rajya Sabha. To be a vice president, an individual must be eligible for election as a member of Rajya Sabha. तो इसका आंसर है सी, 1 and 3 are incorrect. मतलब he must not be less than 30 years of age, और when acting as president he continues to function as the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Which of the following points of criticism are labeled against the amendment procedure in the Indian Constitution? There is no provisions for special conventions for amendment of the Constitution as in the USA. Too much power has been given to the states in the matter of proposing amendments to the Constitution. The states have not been given sufficient power with regard to amendment of the Constitution. Too much power has been given to the Union Parliament with regard to the amendment of the Constitution. इसका आंसर है A, 1, 3 and 4. The member of the Rajya Sabha except the nominated are directly elected by the people, elected by local self-governing bodies, elected by legislative assemblies, partially elected by legislative assemblies and partially by local self-governing bodies. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, इलेक्टेड बाय legislative assemblies. Which one of the following is not applicable regarding the purpose of cut motion? Raising question of urgent public importance, drawing attention to any lapse on part of administration, drawing attention to specific problems, concentration discussion on some concrete points. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, नॉट एप्लीकेबल बोला है तो रेजिंग क्वेश्चन ऑफ अर्जेंट पब्लिक इम्पोर्टेंस. Whose function is it to see that no money is spent out of the consolidated fund of a state without the authority of the legislature? Public Accounts Committee, Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Finance Commission, none of the above. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, Public Accounts Committee. Who declares whether a bill is a money bill or not? Speaker of the Lok Sabha, the President, Prime Minister, द पार्लियामेंट्री सिलेक्ट कमेटी। इसका आंसर है ए, स्पीकर ऑफ द लोकसभा। Consider the following statements. The allocation of seats in Rajya Sabha to the state is based on population of that particular state. A member of the Rajya Sabha should be a domicile of the state from which he or she is elected. Members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the assemblies of states and union territories. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है C, 1 and 3 only. The privileges enjoyed by the member of parliament individually include freedom from arrest in all cases, freedom from attendance as witness while parliament is in session, unlimited freedom of speech. तो इसका आंसर है C, 2 only, freedom from attendance as witness while parliament is in session. The president can call a joint session of the two houses of the parliament if a bill passed by one house is rejected by the other, if the amendment proposed to a bill by one house is not acceptable to the other, if the house does not take any action for 6 months on the bill limited by the other, under all these conditions. तो इसका आंसर है D, under all these conditions. A bill for renaming of a state in and its language was passed by both houses of parliament recently. त्रिपुरा, मेघालय, मणिपुर, ओडिशा। तो इसका आंसर है ओडिशा। Which Indian territories are represented in Rajya Sabha at present? दिल्ली, पौंडीचेरी, लक्षद्वीप, चंडीगढ़। इसका आंसर है D, 1 and 2, दिल्ली और पौंडीचेरी। Consider the following comparison of the money bill and financial bills in context with the various bills in India. While all money bills can originate only in Lok Sabha, some finance bills can originate in the Rajya Sabha. 2. While all money bills deal with matters specified in Article 110(1)(a) to G in the Constitution of India, finance bills comprise some other provisions too. Which among the above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है C, both 1 and 2. The function of the pro tem speaker is to conduct the proceedings of House in absence of the speaker and the deputy speaker, officiate as speaker when the speaker is unlikely to be elected, swear in members and hold charge till a regular speaker is elected, checks if the election certificates of the members are in order. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, swear in members and hold charge till a regular speaker is elected. The power to enlarge the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of India with respect to any matter included in the Union list of legislative power rests with the President of India, the Chief Justice of India, the Parliament, the Union Ministry of Law, Justice and Company Affairs. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, द पार्लियामेंट. While imparting justice, the Supreme Court relies upon the principle of rule of law, procedure established by law, due process of law, all the above. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, procedure established by law. According to the Constitution of India, the term district judge shall not include the chief presidency magistrate, sessions judge, tribunal judge, chief judge of all small cause court. तो इसका आंसर है सी, ट्रिब्यूनल जज. The salaries of the judges of the Supreme Court are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India to ensure that they get their salaries regularly. They dispense justice impartially due to political considerations so that the parliament does not reduce the salaries. All of the above. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, they dispense justice impartially. Which of the following conditions contribute to the independence of judiciary in India? No change in salary and service condition of the judge can be made which operates against their interest after their appointment. Once appointed, they cannot be removed from their office before the date of retirement. The salary and allowance of the judge are charged to the Consolidated Fund of India and are not subject to the parliamentary vote. Retired judges are not permitted to carry on practice before any court or tribunal in India. तो इसका आंसर है C 1, 3 and 4. A case can come up for hearing before the Supreme Court against the judgment of lower courts if High Court certifies that the case involves a substantial question of law regarding interpretation of Constitution on the Supreme Court granting a special leave if the High Court has in an appeal reversed the order of acquittal of an accused person and sentenced him to death in all the above cases. तो इसका आंसर है D in all the above cases. A judge of the Supreme Court can relinquish office before the completion of his tenure by addressing his resignation to the Union Law Minister, the Chief Justice of India, the President, the Prime Minister. तो इसका आंसर है C, the President. The Chief Justice of India can be removed in accordance with the procedure laid down in the Constitution by the President on a resolution by the Parliament alone, majority of the judges of the Supreme Court, the President only. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, President on a resolution by the Parliament. The minimum number of judges to sit on the constitutional bench or on bench which gives his advisory opinion on the reference by the President must be 1/2 of the total strength of the Supreme Court. 7. 3. 1/3 of the total strength of the court. तो इसका आंसर है A, 1/2 of the total strength of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of India is a court of record, which implies that it has to keep a record of all its decisions. It has the power to punish for its contempt. All the decisions have evidentiary value and can't be questioned in any court. Both B and A. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, both B and A. It has the power to punish for its contempt. All the decisions have evidentiary value and can't be questioned in any court. Which of the following cases fall within the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court? Dispute between the Government of India and one or more states, dispute between two or more states, dispute concerning foreign diplomats, dispute between the government and government of any other nation. तो इसका आंसर होगा B, 1 and 2. मतलब disputes between the government of India and one or more states, dispute between two or more states. Why did one of the high courts in India declare that the bans are unconstitutional and punitive? It infringes on the fundamental right of some groups of people. It is not in exercise of fundamental freedom. it adversely affects production. It is not a part of right to protest. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, इट इन्फ्रिंजेस ऑन द फंडामेंटल राइट ऑफ सम ग्रुप्स ऑफ पीपल। तो ये मैच द फॉलोइंग है, लिस्ट 1 में दिया है मध्य प्रदेश, गुजरात, वेस्ट बंगाल, उत्तर प्रदेश, और लिस्ट 2 में है तालुका पंचायत, आंचलिक परिषद, जनपद पंचायत, क्षेत्र पंचायत। तो इसका आंसर देखते हैं। मध्य प्रदेश का होगा जनपद पंचायत, गुजरात का होगा तालुका पंचायत, वेस्ट बंगाल का होगा आंचलिक परिषद, और उत्तर प्रदेश का होगा क्षेत्र पंचायत। तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी। Which one of the following is incorrect in respect of local government in India? According to the Indian Constitution, local government is not an independent tier in the federal system. 30% of the seats in local bodies are reserved for women. Local government finances are to be provided by a commission. Election to local bodies are to be determined by a commission. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए। अकॉर्डिंग टू द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, इसमें इनकरेक्ट पूछा है, तो अकॉर्डिंग टू इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लोकल गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट एन इंडिपेंडेंट टायर इन द फेडरल सिस्टम, ये गलत हुआ। Ashok Mehta Committee Report 1978 recommended constitution of 2 tiers of Panchayati Raj institution at the village and block levels, 2 tiers of Panchayati Raj institution at Mandal, group of villages and district level, 3 tiers of Panchayati Raj institution at the village, block and district levels, 3 tiers of Panchayati Raj institution at the village, district and regional levels। तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी, 2 tiers of Panchayati Raj institution at Mandal, group of villages and district level। The Panchayati Raj institution was integrally connected with community development programs. The community development program was designed to achieve proper use of vast unexploited resources in the countryside and harness the unutilized energy in the villages, encouragement of greater employment and production through the practice of scientific methods of agriculture, expansion of primary and secondary education in rural areas, all of these। तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, ऑल ऑफ दिस। Which of the following features of Panchayati Raj envisaged under the 73rd Amendment of Constitution are correctly listed? The election of the panchayats will be held by the Union Election Commission. There is mandatory reservation of seats for weaker sections and women. The panchayat shall have a fixed term of 5 years, and if dissolved before the expiry of this term, the election must be held within 6 months। तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1, 2 and 3। Consider the following with reference to 73rd Constitution Amendment with respect to Panchayati Raj: direct election of members at all levels, direct election of chairpersons at the village level, indirect election of chairperson at the intermediate levels and district levels, mandatory provisions for holding elections। तो इसका आंसर होगा ऑप्शन डी, मैंडेटरी प्रोविजन फॉर होल्डिंग इलेक्शंस। The qualification essential to become a member of Legislative Assembly do not include citizenship of India, age of 25 years, non-holding of office of profit under central or state government, being a graduate। तो इसका आंसर होगा ऑप्शन डी, being a graduate। The quorum to hold a meeting of House of State Legislature shall be 10 members or 1/10 of total membership of the House, whichever is more, 1/10 of total membership of the House, 15 members or 1/10 of total membership, whichever is less, 1/2 of the total membership। इसका आंसर है Option A 10 members or 1/10 of total membership of the House, whichever is more. Consider the following statements regarding the Central Vigilance Commission. The office of CPC was established by the recommendation of Santanam Committee in 1964. The CPC holds office for a tenure of 4 years. The jurisdiction of the CPC extends to the members of all India services and Group A officers of central and state governments. The CPC reviews the program of investigation conducted by the Delhi Police Special Establishment. Which of the above statements are correct? इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 1, 2 and 4. When a resolution for removal of the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker is discussed by the House, the Speaker or Deputy Speaker has right to preside the House, has no right to preside over the House, however has right to participate and speak in the proceedings of the House. Select the correct answer from the following quotes. तो इसका आंसर है B 2 and 3. Which one of the following statements is correct? The governor is the ex officio chairman of the Legislative Council. The Speaker of the Legislative Assembly also acts as the chairman of the Legislative Council. The council elects its own chairman from amongst its members. तो इसका आंसर है C3. The council elects its own chairman from amongst its members. The position of the chief minister is similar to that of the prime minister, identical to that of the president, a combination of position of the prime minister and president, not constitutional. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए similar to that of the prime minister. Which one of the following is not correct with respect to the powers of the governor regarding a bill passed by the state legislature? He may give his assent to the bill, he may withhold the bill, he may reserve the bill for the consideration of the president, he shall have no alternative but to give his assent to the bill. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी ही में विथहोल्ड द बिल. इसमें नॉट करेक्ट पूछा था इसीलिए. Which of the following statements regarding the Sarkaria Commission are correct? The governor should be appointed in consultation with the chief minister of the concerned state. The persons retiring from the office of governor should not be eligible for appointment to any other office except as president. The person to be appointed as governor should be eminent and credit-worthy in the social or administrative fields. The person actively involved in politics should not be appointed as governor. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी ऑल ऑफ दिस. The chief minister stays in office as long as the governor of the state wants him for a fixed term of 5 years, as long as the council of ministers wants him, as long as he enjoys the confidence of the majority party in the legislative assembly. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी as long as he enjoys the confidence of the majority party in the legislative assembly. Which one of the following are financial powers of State Council of Ministers? Formulating the budget proposals and presenting the same to the state legislature for approval. All proposals for taxation comes forth from the Council of Ministers. Regulation of the contingency fund of the state and advancing money out of it to meet the unforeseen contingencies. तो इसका आंसर है C1 and 2. Regarding constitutional amendments, the provisions of joint sitting is not available. They become operative from the date both houses have passed the bills. The President's assent to a constitutional amendment is obligatory. Parliament may amend any part of the Constitution according to the procedure laid down in Article 368. Choose the correct answer from the quotes given below. तो इसका आंसर है B 1, 3 and 4. Which of the following constitutional amendment has been described as a mini revision of the Constitution? The 42nd Amendment, the 44th Amendment, the 52nd Amendment, the 39th Amendment. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए, the 42nd Amendment. Consider the following statements and choose the correct answer from the quotes. The validity of any law relating to the delimitation of constitutions or the allotment of seats to such constituencies made or purporting to be made under Article 243K shall not be called in question in any court. Any election to a panchayat can be called in question only by an election petition which should be presented to such authority and in such manner as may be prescribed by the State Election Commission. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1 only. The validity of any law relating to the delimitation of constituencies of the allotment of seats to such constituencies made or purporting to be made under Article 243K shall not be called in question in any order. Which of the following disputes disqualifies a political party from being a national party as per the amendments made in order by the Election Commission? It has secured at least It has secured at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha from one or more states. It has secured at least 6% of valid votes in favor. It has secured at least 4% of the valid votes in favor. None of the above. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी. It has secured at least 4% of valid votes in favor. Which of the following categories of persons are entitled to exercise his vote through postal ballot? Members of foreign services posted abroad, members of the armed forces, civil servants on election duty, Indian nationals settled abroad. तो इसका आंसर है C 1, 2, 3 and 4. मतलब all of the above. Members of foreign services posted abroad, members of the armed forces, civil servants on election duty, or Indian nationals settled abroad. Which one of the following statements is or are true? Disputes related to the election of a president are decided by Supreme Court. Disputes related to vacancy in the Electoral College are settled by the Election Commission. In case the election of a president is declared void by the Supreme Court, the acts performed by a president before the date of such decision of court gets invalidated. Choose the correct answer from quotes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 1 only. Disputes related to election of a president are decided by Supreme Court. Consider the following statements. Annual report of the State Finance Commission is mandated to be laid on the table in the state legislature. The country have been barred from adjudicating the disputes in the panchayat elections. Which one of the above statements is or are true? इसका आंसर है C, both 1 and 2. Which one of the following statements is correct? Neither the Finance Commission nor the Planning Commission is a constitutional body. The scope of Finance Commission is limited to a review of the revenue segment of the budget, while the Planning Commission takes an overall view embracing both capital and revenue requirements of the states. No one can be a member of both the Finance Commission and the Planning Commission at the same time. There is no overlapping of work and responsibility of the Finance Commission and those of the Planning Commission. तो इसका आंसर है D. There is no overlapping of work and responsibility of the Finance Commission and those of the Planning Commission. Consider the following statements about interstate council. Interstate councils was established under the provisions of Constitution of India. It is generally a recommendatory body. The Prime Minister of India is the chairman of the Interstate Council. Which among the above statements is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी 1, 2 and 3 are correct. Which one of the following determines that the Indian Constitution is federal? A written and rigid constitution, an independent judiciary, vesting of presidency powers with the center, distribution of powers between the center and the states. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी, distribution of powers between the center and the states. Which one of the following is in the concurrent list in the Constitution of India? Population control and family planning, public health and sanitation, capitation taxes, treasure trove. तो इसका आंसर है A, population control and family planning. Which of the following statements regarding the residuary powers in India are correct? Residuary powers have been given to the Union Parliament. In the matter of residuary powers, the Indian Constitution follows the Constitution of Australia. The final authority to decide whether a particular matter falls under the residuary power or not is Parliament. The Government of India Act 1935 placed residuary powers in the hands of the Governor General. Select the correct answer from the codes given below. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी 1 and 4. The scheduled areas are inhabited by scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, backward classes, other backward classes. Choose the correct answer from the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 2 and 4, scheduled tribes and other backward classes. The Parliament can make any law for the whole or any part of India for implementing international treaties with the consent of all the states, with the consent of the majority of states, with the consent of the states concerned, without the consent of any states. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी without the consent of any states. Consider the following statements. All the union territories in India do not have the same pattern of administration. These territories are under the control of the President. They are governed by the Lieutenant General. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1 and 2 are correct. During a proclamation of emergency due to the breakdown of constitutional machinery in a state, the President can assume all powers vested in and exercisable by the Governor, declare that the power of the state legislature shall be exercised by Parliament, assume certain powers of the High Court, suspend by order any or all fundamental rights except those under Article 20 and 21. Choose correct answer from the codes given below. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए 1 and 2. In case of proclamation of emergency on grounds of war or external aggression, all fundamental rights will be automatically suspended. The right to move a court for enforcement of any fundamental right is suspended. The President may order the suspension of enforcement of any fundamental rights except Article 20 and 21. Parliament may authorize suspension of all fundamental rights. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी. The President may order the suspension of enforcement of any fundamental rights except Article 20 and 21. Consider the following statements in respect of financial emergency under Article 360 of the Constitution of India. A proclamation of financial emergency issued shall cease to operate at the expiration of 2 months unless before the expiration of that period it has been approved by the resolution of both houses of Parliament. If any proclamation of financial emergency is in operation, it is competent for the President of India to issue direction for the reduction of salaries and allowances of all or any class of persons serving in connection with the affairs of the Union, but excluding the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी बोथ 1 and 2. Which one of the following is not a function of UPSC? It conducts examinations for appointment to the services of the Union. It shall be consulted on all matters relating to methods of recruitment to civil services and post. It shall be consulted on all disciplinary matters affecting a person serving the Government of India. It shall be consulted as regards to the reservation of post for backward classes, scheduled caste and tribes. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी. It shall be consulted as regards the reservation of post for backward classes, scheduled caste and tribes. A member of UPSC is debarred from reappointment as a member, ineligible for any other appointment under central or state government, disqualified from becoming constitutional functionary like governor. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 1 and 2. Which of the following are true about Staff Selection Commission? The commission was earlier known as Subordinate Services Commission and was set up on 1st July 1976. The commission is an attached office to the Department of Personnel and Training. The commission comprises of a chairman, 2 members, and a secretary cum controller of examination. The tenure of chairman or members is for 6 years or till they attain the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी 1, 2 and 3 are correct. Which of the following are the functions of the Union Public Service Commission? To conduct examination for the requirement of the services of the Union, to advise on matters referred to them by the President or the Governor, to advise on all disciplinary matters affecting a government servant, to advise on the principles to be followed in respect of promotions and transfers. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन बी 1, 2 and 3. The Staff Selection Commission is an attached office under the Ministry of Personnel, a subordinate office of the UPSC, an autonomous body under the Ministry of Personnel, a statutory body under the UPSC. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन ए an attached office under the Ministry of Personnel. A citizen acquiring citizenship through naturalization may belong to any country without qualification, may keep the citizenship of any other country, must either reside in India or serve the government of India for at least 1 year immediately preceding the date of application, may acquire it in special cases only. तो इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन सी, must either reside in India or serve the government of India for at least 1 year immediately preceding the date of application. Consider the following statements. Which of the following are correct regarding the Punchi Commission recommendations? A fixed term of 5 years for the governor supports the right of the governor to give sanction to pro- prosecution of ministers against the advice of the state government. This would be extension of discretionary powers of the governor under Article 163(2). The governor shall be removed only through impeachment by the state assembly. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 1, 2 and 4. Which of the following influenced the minds of those who were responsible for the chapter on fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution? Bill of Rights of American Constitution, Declaration of the Rights of Man from France, Irish Constitution of 1935, Post-War Constitution of Japan and Burma, Universal Human Rights Charter. Select the correct answer from the codes given below. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Which of the following features does the Indian Constitution borrow from the Weimar Constitution of Germany? The idea of federation with a strong center, the method of presidential election, the emergency powers enjoyed by the Union, provisions concerning the suspension of fundamental rights during national emergency. इसका आंसर है ऑप्शन डी 3 and 4. Consider the following statements regarding Armed Forces Tribunal. The Armed Forces Tribunal Act 2007 will make serving and retired military personnel get quick redressal of their remuneration or working grievances through a specialized mechanism by going through the litigation channel of the lower courts. The decision of this tribunal, however, can be appealed against in High Court and Supreme Court. The tribunal will act as a civil court while adjudicating in service matters and as criminal court when hearing against court martial. Of these statements, only 3 is correct. Consider the following statements regarding Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India. Headed by Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India, the census exercise comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. Started in the year 1949, the Census of India was given the additional duty of implementation of Registration of Births and Deaths Act in 1969 in the country. There were census commissioners from 1881 census to 1941 census and thereafter Registrar General and Census Commissioner India from 1949 onwards. Of these statements, 1, 2 and 3 are correct. तो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का टेस्ट सीरीज ख़त्म होता है. तो अगर आप चैनल पे न्यू हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए. वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए. तो हमारा आज का सेशन यहीं तक था. थैंक यू. थैंक्स फॉर ज्वाइनिंग.